Give me a
am I
second.
leading this one? Am I sharing stuff with you, kind of type deal?
Oh yeah.
Uh, uh, yeah, like big time. Yeah. Okay, fine.
Yeah. Sorry, didn't prepare today.
That's totally good. Okay. That's cool. So, do you want to start with the Ukraine deal? You want to start with um,
Well, do you want to put us
Syria?
in the category?
Huh?
Do you want to put us in the category? Or do you want
Oh,
me to put
yes,
us in the
yes, yes,
category?
yes. Yep. I will definitely do that. Uh, oh, and you know what? Let me knock too. Let me know if you got this. You should have got this. Should like a thing should have popped up for you.
Oh, it's doing this again.
Um, why won't it let me do that? See. I don't see a title for you. There's no. You didn't put a title up there.
Oh, it's in there on the studio. I guess it doesn't broadcast the title then.
Okay. Then I think you need to do it because it doesn't let me do it. It won't let me do it. It won't let me change the title. There's a command. A Nightbot command. I'm pretty sure.
To do a title.
Yeah. Let me see. Command. Default. Title shows to allow moderators to modify it. Okay, let me see if it will. Let me see if I can do it. Because this is a learning moment. Title. Yeah, see, Nightbot current stream title. Welcome to our show. So that's the title. How do I change it though? Yo, what up, Carl? Uh, Title. Trump Tuesday. See if that works. Tuesday. Um.
Can't even argue because I just don't know this
Yeah.
platform.
See, you changed it. So now we're Trump Tuesday, but it won't let me change the category. You have to do that.
Okay. Sure. Oh, okay. So what do we usually do? Politics? Oh, politics and
Yeah,
war.
yeah, politics. Two libs trying to figure out that.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Uh,
I don't use this platform, okay? What can what can you do?
hey, listen, bro. We're slowly working through it. Did you get my knock or no?
Yeah, it's it did this last time too. It's having a problem with the phone number because my phone number is associated with that other Twitch that I made, the one that was just linked as mine. So it's not gonna do that.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
I
that's
have
awesome.
to, I guess, connect like a different number, but well,
No, it's all
but
good.
it's all right. I can just kind of look at both.
Well, we gotta figure that out. We'll figure that out. Get hit with a Second Amendment? No, come on, man. I'll knock. Didn't that happen? Didn't that happen somewhere where some kid like walked up to some stranger's door to ask for directions or something like that, and the guy just shot him? I'm pretty sure
That
that
did
was a news
happen.
story. That was a news story,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Yeah, it definitely was like a year or so ago.
And it's got to be in your part of the area.
I would assume
I
it
think it was
sounds
around
like
there.
it sounds like something that would. I feel like it's Georgia.
I feel like it was like it's one of the C's. It's either in South Carolina or North Carolina. It's one of them.
I don't think it was. But
It's one of the C's. Well,
one of the C's. Okay.
I'm sure it's happened a couple times though. All right, let's see. Where can we get?
It was in Kansas City.
Kansas City. All right. All right. Well, let's start with Syria real quick. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do that.
All right. So we'll watch
All
this
right. What
German news
happened in
channel.
Syria today?
Well, let's watch this.
Was not really with it.
So Syria just signed a new. I haven't watched this, so we're gonna be watching it for the first go here. Oh my god. All right. How can I do this? All right.
To Syria now, where the interim government has signed a landmark integration deal with the Kurdish forces in control of the country's northeast. The agreement would bring most of Syria under the control of the new leadership, including crucial oil and gas fields. Hundreds gathered in both Damascus and the Kurdish-controlled Qamishli to celebrate the announcement.
The Syrian people are one. That's what Syrian Kurds gathered here in Qamishli are chanting in celebration after the landmark deal.
My God, I'm happy. They agreed. It's resolved without bloodshed. The Syrian people are tired.
So when did this
We must
happen?
rebuild Syria with our own hands.
So this is 2 hours ago. So just
The
today.
city has served as the de facto capital of the Kurdish-controlled region known as Rojava, covering nearly a quarter of Syria. Now, under a landmark deal between Syria's new leader and the head of the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces, the autonomous region's military and civilian institutions could be integrated into the new Syrian state, with both parties committing to end hostilities and signaling a departure from decades of policies that marginalize Kurds under the Assad family rule.
As a Kurd and Syrian citizen, I'm happy with the terms of the agreement and the end of the war in Syria after 14 years of conflict. God willing, this marks the dawn of freedom.
Celebrations also welcomed the news in the Syrian capital. If the deal is implemented, Damascus could take hold of oil and gas fields in the northeast and reclaim control of the country's border with Iraq.
So the reason why this is super important, like what the last part she said, the northeast part, right? I think it's the city called Labaka, something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it. Maybe it's in here somewhere. I'm not sure. So it's not in there. But I want to watch another video by Al Jazeera. That was a really good video. So the weird thing about Syria and why it was so hard, and why it is so hard for Syria to kind of come together, and why it's going to be a difficult job for HTS, which is the one that quote unquote defeated Assad's forces. Funny thing about him, he is a former Al Qaeda member and ISIS member. They have very, very close ties, but he's kind of abandoned them. No, the new leader,
Okay.
the guy that was signing it. So the
What's
leader
his
of
name?
HTS. I don't know his name. What was his name? In the video they talk about
educating
it.
myself about what's going on in the world today.
Yeah. No,
Ahmad
they're very
al-Shara.
heavy Arabic names. I just know he's the leader. The group is called HTS. Again, I don't know what the whole full pronunciation is. I just know him as the leader of HTS, and I know what he looks like.
It looks like Ahmad al-Shara.
Yes, there you go.
What's his name?
Yeah, they're very heavy for Arabic names. They're hard to remember.
Well, I would imagine.
Yeah, so he has a really dark past, obviously, with heavy ties with those organizations, but he kind of split from them to form HTS.
Okay.
And the way Syria is, it's split up into like 5 different factions, each controlling different regions. There's heavy influence, obviously, of Turkey, of Bashar's, well, former President Bashar now, his forces. So Bashar was a part of a group, a minority sect group called the Alawites. They control the north eastern part, which is which is why this was so important. That's where the fighting has been happening mainly. So obviously,
So
because
basically, all Alawites are being targeted as supporters.
yeah, well. So this is how it kind of happened. In a way, yes. Just you're right on the point. There is because everybody was like, well, you were part of Bashar's, loyal. There are certain loyal people in there, but majority of them are like, no, we don't really fuck with Bashar like that. You know what I mean? So, but there's obviously
in
that
the end, he was a brutal dictator. I mean, just
to everybody,
from
not
the
just
same
to like.
area doesn't mean
Yeah. So what happened once Bashar fell? A lot of those Alawite members, fearing retaliation, they kind of flee to a Russian airbase, I think. In the other video that I want to talk about,
also fled to, right?
Which is where he also fled to before going to Moscow. Yeah. So to that area of the northeastern area where a lot of the fighting has been happening. So what the loyalists to Bashar, because HTS has kind of been going around to these different factions, and trying to like, hey, let's get together and form one country, because it's not like we can talk about HTS is kind of in power. It's kind of taken over Bashar's role, but it's by no means fully in control of the entire nation of Syria. So he's kind of been going around trying to get like support from it, which it's gonna be funny how this works out, because the U.S. isn't really like fully into backing him up, because obviously of those terrorist ties, and none of the Western nations are. But Turkey, I think, is kind of sort of in play here. Turkey is becoming a very central role in a lot of the world politics right now. They have heavy hand in Ukraine and Russia talks going on. They have a heavy hand in Syria. Obviously, they play a huge role in what happens in the Middle East and Gaza. So Turkey's playing a really, really big major role in a lot of this. Erdogan is like really stepping up his game, even though Turkey's kind of like going through his own fucking high interest rates, high inflation, like insane inflation in Turkey. He has his own problems, but he's been really stepping up on the world, the foreign policy stage. So this is really important, because now I guess it means let me finish what the point was. So some of the loyalists had attacked the HTS. They're called the Syrian Security Forces now. Had attacked them. So because the loyalists had attacked and they were Alawites, the fighting kind of started, and it kind of just like evolved into a much, much bigger thing. And then a lot of innocent civilians kind of got caught up in it. I think upwards of like 1,000 civilians are dead right now. So this deal is really big. This is the first time hearing about it, that a breakthrough deal is happening, and then they're looking to form a central government now, which is nice, because it's gonna, like, those divides just don't go away, right? Like, somebody that's obviously benefited from the oppressor's regime obviously doesn't mean they're oppressors, but there's a lot of Bashar loyalists within that part of the group, which is going to be tough to like see how this plays out. And it's going to be tough. It's going to be very hard for HTS to kind of get this together, especially for the fact, like, with his past, I just don't see how he's going to be able to pull this off. The best thing that I think would be for the people of Syria, the only true way to really unite them would be to have a fair and just election, but we know how power plays out. Once you have power, you really don't want to let it go.
Are there any elections in the works? I mean,
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Referred to as an interim president.
Yeah. So I think right now, once they took over the power, he was very quick to like kind of cement power there, and to instead of becoming a leader of the rebel forces, to turn into like I think there was something that he did bring a bunch of people together. I don't know how. how much influence those people had into the other sections of Syria. Um, he did bring those people in pretty quickly to declare himself the interim president. Interim is the key word. I don't know how that turns into. Obviously, they're the strongest group since they've beat, like, maybe I should say strongest group, the more popular group, since they've beaten Bashar, or they've been seen to beat Bashar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in reality, like, the Bashar security forces, they kind of were just like, yeah, we're done with this. Go ahead, get him if you can get him. You know what I mean? It was more like that. There was not a lot of resistance met with them. Bashar was kind of defeated. You know, he didn't have after being a brutal dictator for so long, he didn't have the power.
Yeah.
He didn't have the hold on his own people. Well, let's just see what this video finishes up with.
We're happy for all Syrians. Thank God some have returned. We're waiting for the rest. The doors and our hearts are open.
Yeah, this is also another thing, another big thing. Obviously, there's been so many Syrian refugees scattered across the world because of the war for so long.
Yeah.
That's another thing that's going to be super important when those people come back, right? And a lot of people do want to go back that have been scattered across, like, the entire Middle East, Turkey, Jordan, Afghanistan, like, Iran, Iraq, like, you know, they're really
sure.
scattered all over the place. So that's going to be another thing that's going to be happening. A lot of those people are coming back.
Many see the move as a positive step towards national unity in the wake of sectarian violence that has uncovered deep divides.
Now let's bring in Sarah Stachelhaus. She's a Middle East analyst and program coordinator at Heinrich Böll Foundation. That's a think tank with close ties to Germany's Green Party. Sarah, for years, the Kurdish forces in the oil-rich northeastern Syria have run a de facto state. What's the reason for them to give it all up and integrate into the new Syrian state?
No, thank you for having me. I mean, as we heard in the clip, people in Syria are tired. They want to live in peace, and there's a call for Syrian unity within the country. To take a step back, I think there's been pressure on both parties, the SDF and the transitional government in Damascus. The transitional government has not been able to contain the sectarian violence and the revenge killings that we have witnessed in the past days in the coastal area of Syria, which raises the question and fears into the fear that the new Islamist transitional government is not guaranteeing the safety of minorities in Syria. On the contrary, the transitional government has spent the past months trying to consolidate its power by gaining trying to build legitimacy on a national level, on an international level. So for them, that picture is quite a troublesome one. So now taking a step towards an agreement, or taking this agreement with the Kurdish-dominated SDF, now also the news from today with the Druze in Swaida, they are trying to send a signal that they do stand for national unity and the protection and inclusion of minorities all over the country.
Now, you said it, that the interim government is consolidating its power, but what do the Kurds gain from this agreement?
Excuse me?
I was asking you what the Kurds are gaining from this agreement.
Yeah. Yes, the Kurds, I mean, as I said, there was pressure, and also pressure on both sides. Reports say that there's been a considerable amount of U.S. pressure on the Kurdish-dominated SDF in the northeast to settle on some sort of agreement with Damascus, also to pave the way for a U.S. withdrawal. On the other side of the border, the PKK is putting down their arms and entering a ceasefire after many years with Turkey that treats the SDF as an extension of the PKK. So basically, one could say it doesn't leave the SDF with too many options. Giving the environment at the moment and the pressure for this agreement to conclude.
So how do you just mentioned Turkey? How do you think the Turkish government will react to this agreement then?
Let's see. I think it can play into Turkey's role in the region at the moment. I mean, after the fall of the Syrian Assad regime, the Iranian and Russian influence has dwindled, kind of leaving Turkey and Israel on the stage and in competition for the regional influence. There's also been some talks between or talks of contact between Israel and the Kurds, also sort of playing onto that card of being the protector of minorities. And on the other hand, the Kurds now took a step away from that. They took a step towards national unity and a step towards Syria and fellow Syrians. And of course, that also is in the interest of Turkey to not have another regional player indirectly closer to their border and their influence.
Sarah Stachel, their analyst at the Heinrich Böll Foundation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Don't ask me for my thoughts. I don't know enough to have thoughts. I just took it. I'm like, okay, sounds like what's happening.
Let me see.
Yeah, I don't know enough about the history of like.
Now, there are growing fears that Syria stands on the edge of
Syria relations. I thought the point about Turkey kind of trying to gain like regional influence, I guess, was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Like juxtaposed with Israel.
Yeah, they're
They're
really trying to get into their own influence and see how it goes.
Relatively peaceful with Turkey, right?
Who, Israel?
No, us.
Oh yeah, no, we are very peaceful with Turkey. We don't really have any problems with them. They don't really have any problems with us. I think it's because where it's located, and plus now Turkey is part of the EU now.
Okay.
I think that just happened, or it's very close to happening. I think it's one of those things because he's been joining in talks when the EU has been talking about European support for Ukraine. Turkey has been a really prominent part of that. But this is kind of what started it.
A return to widespread violence after days of sectarian bloodshed that one human rights group estimates killed at least 1,000 people. The country's interim leader, Ahmed al-Sharaa, has appealed for unity in what is the worst period of unrest since he took control last December. Having ousted the longtime president,
but if you don't have that power,
he
or
doesn't.
The sway, I guess, to make it happen, then I think the criticisms of you are pretty valid.
Yeah, which is why that Kurdish deal is going to be super important. It's like one step kind of forward to trying to join some of the missing or the broken pieces of Syria. If you can have it. Well, there's another video by Al Jazeera. Was it this one that I really wanted? Can you see it still, or no?
Yeah, I can still see it.
Okay. I think it was this.
Al Jazeera podcasts today. Serious
English and
no, it wasn't this one.
Since it took power in December.
As Syrians are left with the fallout, how can they address the roots of this violence? And what's next? I'm Manuel Rapalo, and
Al
this
Jazeera is like
The
excellent for Middle East coverage.
My name is Salma Bijabi. I'm a correspondent for Al Jazeera English, and I work on conflict zones.
Osama, let's set the scene. Can you walk us through what's been happening in Syria's coastal regions over these past few days, and what's behind this latest surge in violence?
Since the fall of the Bashar al-Assad government, the effort has been to try and bring together all sides and factions, and Syria has quite a few of them. What has been happening in the last couple of days is on the coastal regions, especially in the provinces of Tartus and Latakia, remnants of the Bashar al-Assad regime, people who had guns and power and men, actually tried to stage a coup and take control of these areas. There's been ensuing fighting that went on for a few days. There's been an announcement that the operation by the security forces is over, and the situation seems to be returning to normal. But what actually happened was that these groups who were loyal to Bashar al-Assad, who had all of the resources to continue to fight, staged some sort of a comeback. Because if you remember, it was a blitzkrieg when the HTS fighters came in and took over all of Syria. So they went in, they killed a bunch of security officers, and then there was a counteroffensive in which not just people with guns, but a lot of civilians were killed as well. And according to counts, there are hundreds of people who've been killed, with some estimates saying that it could be as many as 1,000 people in just over 48 hours.
Wow.
There is conflicting information when it comes to the casualties. What's really getting people's attention is these reports of massacres targeting Alawite civilians have been some of the deadliest violence since the fall of the Assad regime. So I think the question that a lot of us are asking ourselves outside of Syria is, why is this happening now?
Well, it was inevitable that there is going to be violence. If you look at the history of what has been happening in Syria in the last 14 years, we were expecting there's going to be violence. But the last few months were so calm and peaceful that everybody went into this false sense of security. What has been happening is these massacres, as each side tries to call them, have been happening on and off on a smaller scale. What happened now is that because a lot of these forces joined hands and they tried to overtake some of the positions, some of the city centers, some of the towns, some of the villages, that is where it really got out of hand. And what these massacres are is essentially security officials going in, searching for the remnants of the Assad regime, and on information, there has been executions that has been acknowledged by the president Ahmed al-Shara as well. And then on the other side, they're also
like, let's all come together. I'm gonna show you that by doing a massacre.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But
It's more complicated than I can even comprehend at this point. But I'm
right,
like, I don't think that makes sense.
I'm sure there's a lot of that Russian influence kind of flying through from not particularly from Putin, because I don't think Putin gives a shit about Syria at all. It's just a world stage for them, you know what I mean, to just to flex, just to have that influence, because we know how Putin wants that influence. But it's probably all the billions of dollars that Bashar had in Russia just kind of slowly funneling into his loyalist groups that are still on the ground and try to just kind of fight, back to see hey, let's see what the resolve is of the, HTS or the new Syrian government. Or if not even just to test the resolve, it's just to see oh, look, he's not really a leader at all. He doesn't have any power. He didn't beat me. I just left. I'm still alive. I can come back at any time. I think it's more of that aspect of things. You know what I mean? Hey, I can come back. I can still mount an offensive. But I think the people of Syria are kind of just sick of this. You know what I mean? Overall,
sure.
nobody cares about this. No, they don't have. Realistically, the normal civilian doesn't have the appetite for war. It's just these corporations still need to just be fucking, making a profit at I think what was your podcast that mentioned it? It's just these corporations. There's no free market that we believe it to be a free market. It's all government propped. You know what I mean? Not to go too Q in this, but but that's just what it is. Every little thing is government propped. It's, if the government decides to do this, then they just do it. They change their markets to whatever they want, which is why when people come into our streams and talk about oh, we can't have free healthcare. No, we can certainly have free healthcare. It's just the mindset. It's literally just the mindset that that people just don't have. But that's kind of what's going on in Syria. I mean, it's kind of all just beating around the bush, and not beating around the bush. It's kind of like the repetition of the same thing over and over and over again.
So I'm gonna watch
we don't really
though,
need to
see
go
how
how
it
it
goes,
develops.
you know, with that agreement and everything.
Oh, do we want to watch this real quick? House Democrats leaders hold a news conference after key funding vote.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
You want to do this?
Yeah,
I hate this guy.
Fresh live reaction.
That hurts families.
I fucking hate this guy.
Seniors and veterans. The House Republican spending bill is an attack on everyday Americans.
He's just like
It will
Kennedy.
cut
Like you could play him at like
healthcare,
2 times
cut
speed
veterans
and
benefits,
still
and
wouldn't be
cut
normal.
nutritional
Right.
assistance
Like, spit
to
it out.
children and families. It is unacceptable. And that is why
That's the
there is a
longest pause
strong
ever when you really
showing
think about it. Like,
That's what I'm saying. It's
opposition
like why?
amongst House Democrats.
like he's got to like say it in his head
We
a couple
stand
times
ready,
before he actually
willing, and
says
able
it.
to negotiate a bipartisan spending agreement that meets the needs of the American people in terms of their economic well-being, health.
Nobody
safety.
believes him. I don't know. Maybe I'm living in that echo chamber, but like
Republican
nobody likes him.
Spending bill
No, I mean he hasn't
will
been getting
hurt
a lot of good press lately.
everyday
I think people
Americans,
just see him as ineffective.
and House
Super
Democrats
ineffective.
will never be
No fight. You could tell
complicit
just looking by him. Like he
in
he
their
has no
reckless
fight
scheme.
for this.
Yeah.
Like, the way he
Captain
talks, like have energy,
Thank you,
brother.
Mr. Leader.
Like if you hate
The
something, hate it.
Republican
Hate it with a passion.
majority just voted
Well, that's
to
what we're
hand
missing
a
overall.
blank
We don't
check
have a lot of
to
people here
Elon
that
Musk
are-
and his billionaire and their other billionaire donors with a payment interest for Elon's $277 million contribution. They also voted in the 4 corners of this bill to evict families from their homes, 32,000, kick veterans off their cancer treatments, cut health care and Alzheimer's research, and take food away from hungry families. And they aren't hiding this anymore. The plot is clear. So they can cut billionaires'
Next week it'll be
taxes
like,
and
or
funnel
later this week
corrupt
we'll get,
contract
like,
to SpaceX.
7 Democrats
That's
voted
the
for
agenda.
continuing
That's the plan.
resolution, you know,
So when
Right.
Republicans use this bill, this vehicle, to cut
I should have watched
Social
the vote. I'm
Security,
sure we can like
to
look
cut
it up. Like,
Medicaid,
I'm sure there
to
was some
cut the
yeas in there.
VA,
I wasn't
and
sure when they
hand
were
the
voting.
cash
It,
to the
it was
rich.
literally just happening today.
The American people are going to know who to blame. 2/3.
I don't want to listen to it. Honestly, I don't even want to listen to MSC and
Republican
CEO. I hate them too. They're so fake.
They're the ones that fired like half their staff, right?
Who? I mean, yeah. Wait, this just happened?
Confluence is the
It is
connected
live.
workspace where teams can do it all. Like this developer, mapping
For 2024.
Here we go. This fucking guy. This fucking guy.
135 billion are overpayments. Now understand.
Is he on the House floor?
For a lot of those, that
Yeah, it's just nobody really comes to his speeches because they're all the same.
You know, if you watch, I do kind of sort of like what he says sometimes. But it's like he's explaining something that's like going completely wrong, and then he'll just blame it on the Democrats when it's the Republicans doing it.
Yeah.
And that I just I'm like, you dude, like what the fuck? And then like you gotta
he
watch
was,
his
like,
interns.
My friends on the left, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of those.
Yeah, and then like and his interns in the back there, his staffers, they're always so bored out of their mind. They're just sitting there like, can we like
They're probably the only ones there.
like you're right, because they have to be. Nah, fuck this guy.
It'd be different if he like switched it up occasionally, but it's really just the same thing every time. And then he votes with the party, so it's like
Right.
You don't care. You don't really care that much.
No, you don't really care
You're
that
just
much.
keeping your. You're just trying to keep your seat. I also think. Well, I don't want to spread misinformation, but not a lot
What?
of people are watching. But I feel like he's from Arizona, I think. I feel like he was part of something that like cut some like significant benefits to like paramedics and firefighters and you know
Yeah.
the people that Republicans love so much, supposedly.
Can we just get like an updated? Is there not like an updated? Like, come on, man. Do we not have an updated video here? Like, how did the vote go? Oh, I think this is what I was
Categories.
watching.
And understand.
Oh, can I go back? Oh, okay. Is this the continuing one? Was it HR 1156?
Let me see.
Oh, look at this. Yeah, can you look up? Can you look it up? 1156.
No, that looks like something that has to do with like COVID funding
Oh, okay.
to amend the CARES Act.
What, Republicans are voting for the COVID funding?
It's probably like a small like extension or something like that of some like pot of funding or something like that. It's probably not that significant of a bill. That's why we haven't really heard of it.
What's the motion to recommit?
HR 1968.
A lot of the Democrats, it's even split between party lines.
CBS News says 39 minutes ago, House passes GOP funding bill.
But split with down party lines or no? What was the bill though? Because I'm pretty sure it just got voted.
It was a 217-213 vote. One Republican opposing, one Democrat supporting. Thomas Massey of Kentucky was the Republican. Jared Golden of Maine was the Democratic yes. So we've never heard of you, and that's why, because you're probably terrible.
Was it HJ Resolution 25?
One second.
Fighting the country, a renowned community up his
highest expense.
It looks like HR 9494.
I guess they didn't show it.
A whole bunch of what we label as improper payment.
I don't really understand.
Do you want to hear the opposition, the Hakeem Jeffries floor remarks in opposition of government spending bills?
I kind of do.
You all right.
In the fatal attraction reference,
I'm gonna
because
run it
if
2 times
anyone is dealing with fatal attraction, it's between President Trump and
Why
House
are we
Republicans.
talking
As soon
about
as he
fatal
says jump, your only answer is how high. It doesn't matter.
It sounds normal at one
Whether
point
you
you
are
speak.
hurting the American people. That's why House Republicans are marching the country on a track toward the largest Medicaid cut in American history. You hurt children, hurt families, hurt Americans with disabilities, hurt seniors, close nursing homes and close hospitals. When Donald Trump says jump, extreme MAGA Republicans say how high. That's the fatal attraction. That's hurting the people of the United States of America. And by the way, the core promise that you made last year was about lowering costs. All you talked about was how you were going to lower the high cost of living. Democrats believe that America is too expensive. Housing costs are too high. Grocery costs are too high. Child care costs are too high. Utility costs are too high. And insurance costs are too high. America is too expensive. We believe that in fact is the case. But Republicans have done nothing to lower the high cost.
What have you done?
Of living. No bill, no executive order, no administrative action. That's the broken promise. We were told by President Trump that costs were going to go down on day one. Grocery prices haven't gone down, they've gone up. Inflation is up. You know what's going down? The stock market. Because President
Is that
Trump,
what we're worried about, brother?
Are crashing the economy in real time.
The stock market?
And marching us to a possible Republican recession. That's what's confronting the American people. And so now we have this partisan, reckless spending bill that we're being asked to consider on the floor today. Bipartisan negotiations were underway. Rosa DeLauro was at the table working to reach an agreement consistent with the Fiscal Responsibility Act that was passed by Republicans and Democrats and then signed into law in 2023. But when Donald Trump says jump, extreme MAGA Republicans say how high. And he ordered the Republicans to leave the negotiating table to try to jam this far-right extremist bill down the throats of the American people. There are so many challenges with this bill, too many to detail. But let me just articulate a few. The House Republican, highly partisan, shutdown threatening bill is an attack on veterans, it's an attack on families, it's an attack on seniors. It cuts funding for veterans, including billions of dollars in funds that will be cut from veterans in desperate need of health care for people who serve this country, who are suffering from painful exposure to toxic substances, Agent Orange and burn pits. And this bill, before this House, cuts billions of dollars in that health care that is desperately needed. That's an attack on veterans. It's an attack on children and families in America because this bill cuts funding for nutritional assistance that would otherwise be available for everyday Americans to put food on the table. When people are already struggling because grocery prices aren't going down, they're going up under this administration. And yet,
yeah, I mean, these kind of
this
things,
Republican
they're
bill
very true.
will
They're
cut
just not moving
funding
anybody.
for nutritional assistance. That's an attack on children and families here in America. It's an attack
So
on
do we think the Senate's gonna
seniors.
shut down the government, or
an attack on everyday
I mean,
Americans, an attack on housing, an attack on
they need a 60
healthcare,
vote, right?
which cuts funds from things like
I don't think
Alzheimer's
so.
research
I don't think so.
to help older
I
Americans
don't think there's enough of
battle
them
these
that are-
challenges.
That would be willing
That's what
to
this
do it.
extreme
No. I really
Republican
don't think they
bill
are.
is all about. It will hurt families, hurt seniors, and hurt veterans. The second problem, equally troublesome, is that this bill does nothing to protect Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. We've been very clear. As Democrats, we look
I
forward
think the coolest thing they could do
in this
is
Congress
shut it down
to
and then
protecting
let
these
themselves,
vitally
even if it,
important
like,
priorities
kills them,
for the
like
American
party
people. Why
currently, let themselves
is
just
the bill
be,
silent
like,
on these
replaced by
priorities?
more progressive people, but
But that's never going to happen.
nobody's gonna do that.
Nobody's
I
going to, no.
I know, just a
But how would that even happen, though? Like, let's say, like, you're right. How would that even happen? Like, you think they'll just, like, let's just crash and then, like, I think it'll just kill. So you want them to, like, we're just going to kill the Democratic Party? Like, even, like,
I mean, I'm saying, like, they do that.
how many
Maybe
people would
it
have to
does
dissent?
make them incredibly unpopular, but it would just be like those individuals, you know, like rather than what we're doing now is it's continuing to make the party as a whole just continue to
Yeah,
be
but how many-
unpopular.
How many?
And just like the left overall unpopular because it's seen as ineffective.
I 100% agree with you, but then, like, if you, well, okay, how many people would have to not vote? All of them?
Oh, like just like all of the Democrats?
Yeah,
I mean,
like how many
they
people? How
would
many
just have
votes could they? What? They
would
need
just
60
have to
votes,
vote
right?
No, they would just have to vote against it.
You're saying all of them,
Why not?
but I'm just saying. But that's the whole point, though. I don't think there are. They're like one step
I'm not
away
saying
from
this
being
is
a
realistic.
Republican.
I'm saying it would be cool.
No, I think it would be awesome if they would. You know, but like the entire, I'd say, besides like, how many Democrats are in the House, in the Senate right now? 51, 50?
In the Senate?
Yeah.
That's 40 something. I don't know.
It's close though, like 49 though, right? Like it's very close to 50. Let's just say 50. I think maybe 10 are progressive. The rest of them are literally one step away from Republican. You know?
No, I agree that it's not They're
very all in it
few,
together.
Actual progressives.
That right. They don't.
Especially in the Senate.
Like look at the guy in the back. Look at the people in behind Hakeem Jeffries real quick. Just take a look at him.
I know.
One's on the phone, the other one's falling asleep.
Well, this is part of what pisses me off about all this too. I mean,
like, where's the anger?
This is what these always look like. I mean, we don't know like the party affiliations. I assume that it's
no. She is definitely a Democrat. When I was watching this earlier, I saw her speak.
Okay. Well, I mean, I just mean all of them, but I lost my train of thought.
It's just it's like it's dead. Like it looks ineffective.
Right. That's what that's what I was trying to get at. I mean, we saw that at the joint address too. Like we had people like literally asleep. Like whoever was sitting next to what's her name, Elizabeth Warren, was literally like mouth open, eyes shut, dead asleep. And it's just like, that's embarrassing. Like why are you there?
The country's burning and this guy is asleep.
Exactly.
Like, what does that say? I don't know.
Nothing good.
And this dude is just sleepy all the time.
Because you are trying to set in motion a chainsaw.
Brooklyn, man, you're one of the fucking most like hyped up people, aggressive people out there. Can you guys send somebody like better?
Surely there has to be somebody.
Can we get Cardi B in there?
That these
can we
entitlement programs, as they call them, they're not entitlement programs, they are earned benefits. When you start to use the language of entitlement programs, it's because you're trying to set in motion an assault on Social Security and an assault on
Medicare. Like it's just fancy speeches.
They're saying the quiet part out loud. We know you're going after Social Security and Medicare because you've been firing thousands of people from the Social Security Administration. You want to collapse the system.
Like, again, you pay into it.
Yeah.
I mean, all of this we pay into. You pay your taxes. If you need food stamps, then you should get them. I mean, like, there's nobody out here living life who's paying like zero taxes. Like, if you buy something, you pay the tax. Like, you know, like.
Right.
So
I think he's referencing Elon Musk there.
No, I get it. I just think it's like it's a stupid thing to allow them to try to villainize, you know, and make it so that we don't use that term anymore either because it's so. I mean, it's kind of stupid on our side to even talk about it, but I just feel like it's just not something to hyperfixate on because I keep hearing this line too, like, oh, it's not an entitlement program. You paid into it. Like, yeah, we get it. So
I don't know.
What are
it's just
you gonna do?
like, and you know what the thing is? I watched this when I was at work. I was trying to keep up with it, the live reactions for this, and I was listening to the Republicans speak. It's like the Republicans will come, like they got on there. I'm sure like the Democrats did this too when they were in power and like there was a government shutdown or whatever. You know, the Republicans get on there, talk about like, oh, hey, listen, man, do you want to be the one to shut down the government? Because that's what we're gonna get. Because that's all Mike Johnson does. Like Mike Johnson's interview was literally like, hey, we're here working for the American people. If the Democrats want to get, you know, not vote for this, they want to shut down the government. That's on them. Knowing full well that he doesn't need the votes, but he's still gonna create that whole narrative, right? Like, hey, it's like, look, why wouldn't he? It's in his benefit.
It works.
It works. It works. And these guys will get on here like, it's entitlement programs. You deserve it, dude. He just called you an asshole and spit on your face and left, and then you're talking about like, what are you talking about? You're sleeping in the back.
I mean,
I want, like, the TikTok I just saying you, I want the Democrat Party to be gone and just, like, all the fucking... I saw Nancy Pelosi speak. I just wanted to fucking break my iPad in half. Like, it just... Why are you there? Like, why are you there?
And to run again, the audacity.
That's what I'm saying. Like, she's literally fucking, like, 80 years old. Just got a brand new hip. Got a brand new life. Can you just go enjoy that hip?
Go enjoy your hip. Take it somewhere nice. What are you doing?
Like, what? That's what I'm saying. Like, you've already richer than you ever need to be.
Power? I don't know.
It's the same thing with Joe Biden. It's Joe Biden all over again.
Where is Joe Biden?
Who fucking knows? The guy's in his, like, they put him in a closet and like, hey, Joe, you don't need to come out again. Like, you're good.
You're done.
You've done enough, buddy. You've done enough.
You're all right.
Like, They just walk. They just bring him like 4 meals every single day, and they're like, Joe,
U.S. food
you
products
good,
has already
Joe?
announced retaliation.
I don't know, but I mean, they're not. I guess we'll
Right,
see
from the
what
White
the
House to
Senate
Capitol Hill,
does.
we'll-
I mean, hopefully they try to negotiate something, try to get somewhere. Because I mean, if we don't see any fighting, then that's just going to be even worse for them.
You know what we have to do now, right? Since we've given enough attention to Hakeem Jeffries, we got to go on Fox News.
Well, sure.
Bikino and buy tickets for your favorite draw games online
We
while
have
you
to go on
wait.
Fox News and see the
We're following
celebration
the
going
latest
on.
with this continuing resolution that moved through the House 217 to 215, and we're hearing from different lawmakers there outside of the Capitol Hill. We're still awaiting potentially Mike Johnson to step, as you see plenty of lawmakers, reporters awaiting his presence. Let's take you though outside.
He's gonna be so happy.
To a Republican from Kentucky. I think that is Thomas Massey, the lone
Mike Johnson's gonna be
Democrat,
so
the lone
happy.
Republican, I should say, to vote no. Let's listen into this live on Live Now from Fox.
Did I do good?
When they
Yeah,
wanted to do
weren't
a
these guys? Did I do it? He's on the first phone call with Elon Musk. Daddy, I did it. It's over, Daddy. Yes.
Good, right?
That needs to be a TikTok right there. You need to clip that. But wasn't this guy talking about like it's fucking abominable? Like, what are they doing? Oh my God, we're spending so much money. I'm a definite no. They all fucking voted for it.
This isn't the guy that voted no.
No.
The one Republican.
No. Oh, is it?
Nasty
Is it?
looks like.
September 2024.
Who was the one Republican that voted no?
I think his name was Massey. Kentucky.
Oh, it is.
Let's listen into this
Okay,
live on
yeah.
Live
Oh, it
Now
is
from Fox.
When
Massey.
they wanted to do a
Oh, he's stuck
CR
with his
in
guns?
September
Oh, wow.
2024, wait till after the election. Then we were told, after the election, wait until we've got the Senate majority installed, and then we'll fight and we'll implement Trump's agenda. But there's no fight in them. It's basically Biden's agenda cut, copied, pasted into the discretionary budget.
Do you expect the same thing to happen again in
I
September?
wonder what the Republicans listening to Fox News have to say
We
about
should
that.
be doing 12 separate bills. And we should be doing those over the summer. I suspect there's going to be very little effort to do that.
I mean, it is
because
very
what 12 separate
contrary to what they're supposed to be all for. Like, it's core of their party beliefs is supposed to be
Do you
fiscal
think
responsibility, and here we are adding just like to the point where money's just fake, like
Yeah.
the amount of money to the deficit.
do you think Mike Johnson went to Hakeem Jeffries and Nancy Pelosi? It was like, hey, listen, one of our guys is just gonna not vote for it, so that's gonna put us on even pars. Why don't you send one of your guys? Like, can you send us one of your guys
Some
that
asshole
nobody's
from
ever
Maine.
nobody's ever fucking heard about? Like, that nobody knows. It's just a continuation bills. You guys want
All
this
of his
just as much as we
constituents
do.
are trees.
Yeah, like, that you guys want it. Like, this is what you guys had. We're doing the exact same thing as you fucking did. Why can't we just get along right here? Just send me one of your guys. And
I
then
don't
we'll
know.
go back
I
to
don't think so.
fucking.
Seems like he's been talking about this. Like, I don't know much about Thomas Massey, but everything that I've heard is always like, no deficit, no deficit, no deficit.
Yeah,
So
he's
I
a deficit
think
hawk.
I think he's just really like passionate about it.
Yeah, he just wants to fucking cut funding to everything. He doesn't want anything to be run by the government. It's all private. It
Right.
all needs to be owned by Elon. That's what it is.
So I don't
Let's
know.
see what
if
else
anything,
gets you is
they just
only
probably
1/12
figured he would.
of the government stops functioning. if
Jay, I'm
one of
gonna
those 12
finish up
bills
soon,
doesn't
bud,
pass.
and I'll
This
join the
place
Discord, all right?
loves to have the threat
Thanks
of a
for the sub, brother.
shutdown. They can get the Freedom Caucus to vote for Biden's agenda with the threat of a shutdown, which is what they did here today.
And what's your reaction to President Trump putting on True Social that your days are numbered?
Trump, he spent the whole
No shot.
That's crazy.
No shot, and he was just talking about he wants to pass Trump's agenda. Bro, like, the amount of cocksucking that these guys do is insane. He wants Trump's nuts in his mouth, and Trump is like, no, you gotta get the asshole. Like,
He wanted that 100% compliance rate, and that's what
That's
what
insane,
happens
though.
with guys like Trump. I mean, he didn't get exactly what he wanted, so even though he's still getting what he wanted,
right.
this guy.
But it's not how he wanted it.
This guy's gonna have to disappear, House of Cards style.
No more Thomas
attacking me
Massey
in
from
Canada.
Kentucky.
And the difference is Canada caved.
What did he say?
A whole day attacking me in Canada.
reaction to President Trump putting on Truth Social that your days are numbered?
You know, Trump, he spent the whole day attacking me and Canada. And the difference is Canada caved. But do you think he's worried about
He knows his days are numbered. You know his days are numbered.
Thomas Massey there. This is Andrew Kraft, and you've been listening.
He's a rhino now.
Lone Republican who voted against House Speaker Mike Johnson's funding bill. Though the funding bill did pass, we do have
to be Republican.
Right.
Speaker Mike Johnson. He just stepped up to the podium. We do want to start it.
Oh yeah, let me hear Mike Johnson, the happy little boy.
What happened
He gave
with all of this as this bill now goes to the Senate? Here's Speaker Mike Johnson.
The win.
The Republicans stood together, and we had one Democrat vote with us.
Hey, how long before he starts shitting on the Democrats? It's 2:13. The video's 8:53. I'm gonna guess before the 3-minute mark.
Yeah, we probably have about 10 seconds
before he goes like, "Yeah, fuck the Democrats. They're assholes."
To do the right thing, and that is to fund the government.
There we go. Oh, it didn't even take that long. It was literally 1 second away.
Clean CR, it freezes funding. It's a responsible thing to do. And we're ensuring that troops continue to get their paychecks and TSA agents continue to do their work and be paid.
Until we fire them. Yeah.
Elsewhere, doing their jobs. It's shameful what happened on the Democrat side. They engaged in a misinformation campaign.
What was that? 2:37. Oh, yeah. Well done in 20 seconds. Well done, Mike Johnson. What awesome. Look at it. He's like, yes, I get to shit on him again.
He's so excited. His lips disappeared.
He's so excited. He's so happy.
They put out talking points about the bill on Friday before the bill was even filed, which was Saturday afternoon. They've been lying and misrepresenting the facts about what's in the bill, and the American people can read it for themselves. It's only 99 pages long. We did our job today.
Who the fuck is gonna read 99 pages? The American people can read it for themselves. It's only 99 pages. It's just 100 pages. Take a couple of days out of your fucking work and just go ahead and bang that out. I need an essay by fucking Friday.
Yeah, right. It's time for our book report to be due. But I mean, the thing is, like, he's gonna say, oh, none of the cuts that they keep saying are gonna be like in there. Which, I mean, this is separate from the other budget bill that we were talking about a couple weeks ago. But,
yes.
Still like along the same lines.
Yes.
Like, of course it's not. You're not gonna say shit explicitly, like.
Right.
Like, sure, we can go read it and just find out a whole bunch of nothing.
Right. Well, and like, what was that thing that the video with AOC? She's like, well, if they want to cut 8. You know what I mean? What they're gonna see is just 10 minus 2. Like, what? Hey, we didn't say 8. Yeah. But it's fucking 8, dog. Like, we can do simple math. Like.
And it's shameful that they will stop at nothing. They will suggest that.
Get a platform, Mike. Jeez, like, get something to care about other than how terrible the Democrats are.
And listen, somewhere in Appalachia, JD Vance is sitting, JD Vance's third cousin removed. They're just sitting there talking about, like, fuck these goddamn Democrats, like, them fucking bitches. They don't want to see this country improve at all. Like, they're just demon spawns. You know what I mean?
I actually saw, sorry, this is a side tangent, but I saw an interview with JD
with his cousin?
First cousin.
Who's in Ukraine? Who was in Ukraine? Yes.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
I don't know. JD Vance probably just comes from, like, Democratic Appalachian people, I bet, because a lot of them are, and he just sold them all right down.
Yeah, he does not give a fuck.
Care.
He just does not give a fuck.
Just for power.
This bill is something that it's not, and they will run out the clock to shut down the government in a desperate attempt to stop the America First agenda. But I will tell you that President Trump and Republicans in Congress will stop at nothing to deliver on that agenda. We are going to continue to work hard. We will continue to stick together.
I would have been like, so how's the stock market doing on the America First agenda? Like, I would have just been like, any thoughts?
Yeah.
It's just that I hate, like, you can't interrupt these fuckers to, like, fact check them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you gotta go do it afterwards. And, like, people are like, well, like, But what are they like? What are you gonna? What is a reporter they're gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, what's? Let me interrupt your fucking speech and then next, like, I never get a fucking interview ever in my life ever again. I'm not allowed to the Capitol ever again. Like, and then my boss is yelling at me like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, even with like the joint address, State of the Union, it's like you just sat there and lied the whole time. How many people like are pro-Trump or whatever? They were watching it because they wanted to see Trump speak. They took everything at face value and then never looked at a single piece of news coverage about it. Like
exactly,
you know, like,
exactly. But like that one girl that that is talking about how like the transgender athletes in
she got smacked in the face or whatever. And...
Yeah, no, not that one, but like another one too, like a swimmer or something like that. But dude, she was coming in 5th. Like you came in 5th. Like you get the 4th person was right. Like the 4th person was the trans athlete, and then like 3 others above them were all women. Did you? You just got shit on. Like can you like now like you're gonna? That's the biggest grift in the fucking world, dude. You came in 5th,
and it's I don't know these women, but I just have like so much shame for them. Like, how dare you?
And you know the guy that I
be better,
right? And then the guy that I saw like that was reporting on this, he's like, "That's how much Republicans don't care about you. They didn't even bother to look up what the fuck you do, what sports you even played. Like." Like, they don't give a shit. Like, what you're doing is just utter fucking nonsense. Like, it's utter fucking nonsense. It's just ruining people's lives. There's like 5 transgender athletes in entire America that are actually participating in sports. Like, you fucking serious, man?
Also,
Get this
a
job
woman
done.
can smack a volleyball into your face and break your
It happens all the time. You know what?
Easily, like, it's a co-ed sport, like, half the time.
That's what I'm saying. You know how many times I've been playing soccer and like somebody like literally a foot away from me just kicked the ball hard as shit and I ate it to my teeth and I'm still functioning normal human being, you know? Like ask any fucking basketball players how many times they've been hit with a face. That basketball is hard. Like the volleyball is at least soft. These people in football are getting face first tackled. Like please shut the fuck up.
Right.
And it's an essential one. Now that the government funding bill has been passed out of the House, we send it to the Senate, and it falls on the desk of Chuck Schumer. He is the leader of the Democrat.
But does it though? Does it though? You fucking fat fuck.
He's not.
That's on that side, and he must determine whether he wants to fund the government, do the responsible thing, or whether he wants to shut the government down. And I certainly hope that there are enough Democrats in the Senate who have a conscience who will do the right thing by the American people and take care of business over there. So, any questions?
I hate this fucker. I just hate this fucker, man. Like, I just fucking can't stand it. Equally, when the Democrats get on here and do this shit too, it's like stupid. But you know, it's like, yo, like, can you just fucking sit down on a goddamn table and be like, hey, we need to keep the government open? Like, it's like dude, I don't understand. This is why people hate politics, because they're like, this is the fucking reason.
I mean,
this is 100% the reason.
Aggressively lying, blaming
the other side, and then they go home like got brownie points.
Right, you're supposed to come to the table and negotiate and make, make good faith like decisions for what actually goes into this bill that represents all of America, like not just your psycho agenda.
Right, but that's not what Daddy Trump wants, you know. Daddy Trump needs the chaos that this ensues, you know. Like he needs it. He needs to feed on it. Like it's like it's not the fucking McDonald's he's living on. It's the fucking chaos that he's sending little Mike. Just wind this motherfucker up, like like God, Mike, do your fucking thing, dog. Like Mr. Speaker, you'll get it done. Fuck off.
McDonald's dinner on Air Force One if he doesn't, if he doesn't get it together.
Right. they fed RFK Jr. a McDonald's burger. The worm was like, no, too much fluoride.
He did look very uncomfortable.
I need my vitamins.
Questions? Anybody?
Expecting a shutdown?
I certainly hope not. I believe they'll do it. I believe the Republicans will stick together in the Senate as we have in the House. And I hope.
You know what I would love? You know what would be poetic justice to this? If all the fucking, like, I know it will never happen. If all the Democrats just don't vote for it, right? And then there's like half of the Republicans go like, yeah, no, this is not what we fucking want. And they just they just don't do it.
Just like a couple. That would be such a huge story.
It'll be so big.
Rage so hard.
It'll be so big.
We need
when is the Senate happening?
Like a couple Republicans who are just gonna like switch to Democrats, like, and they choose this bill to announce it.
But when is the Democrat? I mean, when is the Senate elections coming up? Is it in the 2 years? Is right?
Yeah. I don't know.
Because it's every 6 years, right? So they're always like off. They're always weird.
I think it will. Well, I think it will be though, because I think McConnell is up next year. I think that's when his term runs out.
Right. So 2026.
Yes.
2026 at the end of 2026, November, right? It's always November.
Yeah. Sounds right.
Okay.
When are the next?
And then they get sworn in on January.
When are the just to make sure? Yep, Tuesday, November 3rd, 2026.
Okay, and that's when the House comes up to. So these are like the super midterms then.
I mean, they have 6-year terms, but they're all in different, like, you know.
Oh, they're not. It's not the entire Senate. It's all separated out. Oh, I was wondering about that too. If it's like not all of them, if it's only some of them.
Yeah, they're not all gonna be up, because it depends on when you start.
That's true. That's what I was wondering too.
A number of Democrats in the Senate who will do the right thing. If not, this will be on their shoulders, and everybody in America knows that.
Mr. Speaker, on other legislative undertaking reconciliation, some senators yesterday suggested that they can get the ball rolling by sometime like August, which is far beyond your timeline.
August is far too late. No, we're going to move that ball a lot faster than that, and we'll be talking with our colleagues and friends, Republican leadership in the Senate about this. They will be working the rest of this week, and then I thought
it was like Mike Johnson because he looked down too at the same time. I was like, "There's a dog after him! Bite him, dog!"
Barking at him. Yeah.
Just please, just bite his ankles. Make sure you're not fucking vaccinated too, so he gets rabies.
Right.
Work next week.
He's already
when
there.
we get back, this will begin in earnest, and we'll have leaders and lieutenants, committee chairs of jurisdiction in both chambers working together to begin that process to finish up the resolution and move forward with budget reconciliation. That's going to be a very important thing for the country.
A rescissions package, a lot of folks have spoken about that in part with this continuing resolution. What's the status of that?
We anticipate that we will get a rescissions package from the White House as soon as all the calculations are made. The reason we took this step now is to allow for that process to continue to play out. And the DOGE efforts and the other things that are happening in the administration are very important for the American people, because ultimately what we're going to be able to do is downsize the size and scope of the federal government, make it work more efficiently and effectively for the people, and identify these extraordinary areas of fraud, waste, and abuse and eliminate that. So a rescission request from the White House would come over appropriately in the right timing when they have the calculations done, and Congress will do its job there. We are going to deliver for the American people. We're not sure yet. They're working on the calculations, which is the reason we could not include it today. But we do anticipate that. We're going to work hand in hand with the White House, and I want to compliment President Trump on his ability to be so involved that he's watching this step by step. He is determined to deliver for the people.
I hate this guy. That's all I can fucking say. I fucking hate this guy.
Is Trump relevant
And we
to
are
any
as-
of this at all? No.
No,
But
not at all. But we
I
need
guess we'll-
we need it.
we'll congratulate him.
And you know, it's not even going to be fucking Trump.
Are
You
we
think Trump
talking
reads
about a
HR
bill
resolutions?
that should have been passed before Trump even got into office? Sure. But let's thank him anyway.
Yeah. But again, like, you have to. If you just take a moment and go watch the
Imagine.
Marco Rubio and Steve Witkoff, their interview after the Ukraine deal, they're like, President Trump is the peace president. Like, look what he's done. He's taken it from if the war were ended or how the war is gonna end. Like, look, that's Mr. President. Shut the fuck up.
I mean, and they were doing that before too. When they even like got Russia to the table, they were like, only
Look what
trying
Mr.
to
President's
do
done.
this. Like, you know, it's been 4 years since we've talked to Russia, but he's, you know, he's amazing.
You think Russia was jumping for joy? Let me go have conversations. I need to. Where's the fucking conferences happening? Let me run to it.
Yeah.
They're all a little busy invading the fucking country, you fucking nimrods.
Well, they didn't
Well,
have
so
a
this is
choice but to invade. You know?
Yeah. It was because of Ukraine.
If
They invited
hadn't
it.
been such assholes, then
Right? They should have just given up 4 states.
they should have. Obviously.
How dare they fight back?
A well-coordinated effort between the White House and our Senate Republican colleagues and House Republicans. We'll continue to work in that partnership to get this agenda done. Thank you.
All right, there you have it. House Speaker Mike Johnson catching up with reporters after he secured a victory there for his GOP conference, only losing 1 vote there in Republican Congressman.
I don't like how he's looking at me.
Thomas Massey, who in the last several
Not really looking at us, though,
CR
is
votes
he?
to fund the government, he has
Like, his
voted no
eyes is just looking
repeatedly
too
there,
far up, like, into
and
his
now he
own
is
brain.
facing some blowback.
I just don't like that.
From some in the MAGA camp about that no vote, including and most
Isn't that
important.
like a,
Is that a medical thing?
I think it's like a fetal alcohol syndrome thing.
He does work for Fox News. I'm
President
just
Trump
saying.
himself here. I want to put this up. This is from Chad Pergram. He says the House passes the interim spending bill 217 to 213. Massey is the lone GOP no, and Golden is the lone Democratic yay. That's Jared Golden, the Democrat from Maine, who is in a pretty moderate congressional district in Maine. I believe it's Maine's 2nd congressional district there. And so he bucking his own party and voting for this and kind of going against some of the Democratic messaging. Remember, House Democratic leadership had said as much for all of their members in the caucus to vote against this. So it's now passed the House. We'll see how the Senate takes it up for consideration. Remember, this is what, Tuesday night, Tuesday afternoon, depending where you are. By Friday night, this all needs to be hashed out.
Stop looking at me, man. Like, I can't get away.
A partial government shutdown here. We still have some of these live pictures there outside the Capitol Hill steps. Reporters hoping to catch up with some of these members of Congress.
Did you just see how he walked down the steps? Did you miss it, or he's not missing? Do I need to go back?
No, I saw him.
To put this up here from Tom Massey.
I love
this was posted last night on President Trump's Truth.
Huh?
I said leave him alone. We don't know anything about him.
Oh, I definitely know a lot about him now. Let's see what he said. Congressman Thomas Massey voted to delay the debt ceiling bill from the Biden administration to the Trump administration. From September before the election to June after the election, without getting anything for this horrendously stupid move, when Republicans could have gotten everything they wanted. He additionally voted to delay the current budget disaster from the Biden administration to the Trump administration. I was running for office at that time, doing my thing. And when I heard about this, it was quite simply hard to believe. A catastrophic mistake. Now, and virtually on every other vote, he's a very simple no. He can't even approve a continuation resolution when they approved them many times before. What does it fucking say?
Social. Threatening Massey with the primary challenger. He said,
as his career as a congressman, Thomas Massey is a grandstander, and the great people of Republic are going to be watching a very interesting primary in the not-too-distant future.
Threaten him. Oh, he's
Wow.
gonna stick Elon on him.
Oh my God, Elon!
Congressman in quotations, Thomas Massey
I
voted
choose
to delay
you!
the debt ceiling
Like
bill
a
from the
fucking
Biden
Pokemon.
administration to the Trump administration from September before the election to June after the election without getting anything for this horrendously stupid move when Republicans could have gotten everything they wanted. He additionally voted to delay the current budget disaster from the Biden administration to the Trump administration. Trump says, I was running for office at the time, doing my thing, and when I heard about this, it was quite simply hard to believe, a catastrophic mistake. Now, and virtually on every other vote, he's very simple. No. He can't even approve a continuing resolution when he approved them many times during his career as a congressman. Thomas Massie is a grandstander, and the great people of Kentucky are going to be watching a very interesting primary in the not too distant future there.
When you look at the world.
All right. You want to end it there?
Yeah.
We've been live for a while.
Alrighty.
All right.
You want to do a closing, or you want me to just stop?
No, do a closing. Why don't you do a closing?
All right.
Are you not? You're not up for it?
Well, nobody's watching really online, but sure.
Neither for me.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for joining us for our special Tuesday edition of All the Factors. You can follow us on. Well, you can follow us here. You can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok.
Yeah. We've started posting a lot on TikTok, so do come by and support
we got a
us.
couple videos on there, so follow it. Give us a like.
Do you want to give them a recap of what we're going to talk about Thursday?
What are we going to talk about on Thursday?
Our book report.
Oh,
we're doing a book report.
Okay, yeah. So we have been book clubbing Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky.
Yes.
And we're gonna.
Russians are very hard to pronounce.
We're gonna talk about part 1 on Thursday.
Yes, indeed we are.
We're gonna spend the whole time.
It could turn into that. I've never done a book report. I don't know if you've ever done. Well, I've done a book report, but I've never done like a book club before. So it depends. We'll see. We'll see how engaging we can get.
I have done book clubs. I guess I can get a little mouthy, so.
So you're gonna have to lead that one.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, guys.
So bad this one.
No, not at all. I mean, Reckon, what's up? You missed the whole stream. We're just leaving, but I'll be live on mine. So, but we'll be back Thursday.
We are. We did do it a little early today.
We did do it a little early. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, blame on that one, not me. I was live and I was just chilling, and then she comes in she's like, oh well, why don't we just do it at 6?
And said, let me know when you come on. And I was like, okay. And I was like, I guess I'm not doing anything.
so exactly.
Right. So I hopped on.
Oh my god. Oh.
Sorry though.
You're gonna have to unban Reckon because Nightbot just fucking just shat on her. I removed the timeout. It's okay. Yeah, sorry. We just put Nightbot in there, so you're gonna have to go in finicky with the. Yeah. Nightbot's ruthless. You gotta finicky with the settings a little bit. It'll go full hammer time.
Can't even call people girls, I guess.
No, it's a spam. It's the capital letters.
Oh, I didn't see that one. Okay.
Yes, it's the capital letter ones. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to put this one on YouTube. Too much copyrighted content, most likely.
Why?
From YouTube. I mean, it depends. Well,
we can't watch videos.
They were all news. They were all news clips, so maybe we'll see.
Oh, we can't
I'll
watch
edit it and see what happens.
Okay. All right. I didn't know you could do that.
Well, if it's copyrighted, you can't. But you can like respond to news because that's the law. News has to be available for
yeah, we watched everything
like commentary and stuff like that. But but like the TED Talk one, like TED Talks aren't news.
Okay.
So that was copyrighted.
But all we watched was news today.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was a German news channel, and then they just CSB and Face Nation and stuff like that.
Yeah. And Al Jazeera is
also news.
Copyrighted. So.
No, it's also a news channel. Funded by the Saudis. Take it how you want to take it, but it's funny.
We can put it on there then.
Yeah. It should be good. All right, so we'll be back We'll be back Thursday. We're gonna do the book report
Reckon,
and.
have you read Crime and Punishment?
She was supposed to read with us.
Oh. Slacked on the book report.
Yeah.
Can't
Yeah.
slack on book club.
No, you cannot. But it's all right. Next one, you know what we should do in our Discord? We should invite a bunch of people, make a separate channel for the book club, and then be like, hey, we're gonna read this one next, so people can keep up like where we are, and we could put in like where we are, like oh, finish part 1 and that and that. You know, if people want to join us, that'd be great. I would love to have more people involved. And maybe we can make a TikTok about it too. Why don't we do that?
Yeah, I've been meaning to post the book on the Instagram, so yeah, we should.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great. All right. Thank you guys for joining us. We will see you guys Thursday at 7. That one will be at 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. So join us then, and then we'll kick it off from there, and yeah, we'll see where Syria goes, where Russia goes, and where the House resolution goes. You know, it's the Democrats' fault.
So it's the Democrats' fault.
It's always the Democrats.
Alrighty.
All right.
Bye.
Later.
Okay, I stopped it.